end, especially with a Republican nominee who has threatened to keep us in suspense should he lose. Less than an hour ago, Donald Trump again suggested he might not concede tonight if the results are not in his favor. Here's what he told Fox News.
I have to look at, what's happening. I have to look at reports that are coming out. There are reports that when people vote for Republicans, the entire ticket switches over to Democrats. You've seen that. It's happening at various places today. It's been reported. In other words, the machines, you put down a Republican and it registers as a Democrat, and they've had a lot of complaints about that today. We have to be careful. We have to see what it is.
We've seen no evidence of that, no evidence from authorities, not yet. According to the Washington Post newspaper, state officials and voting experts say they are worried about potential confrontations at the polls between Trump and Clinton supporters. We have seen no reports of that, none so far. But Democrats have filed a series of last-minute lawsuits accusing Donald Trump supporters of intimidating voters. Officials say they expect more than 130 million of us to cast ballots this year, and that a record 46 million people already voted early. Secretary Clinton cast her ballot this morning at her home near Chappaqua, New York, about an hour north of New York City. Donald Trump voted in the city near Trump Tower, 51 I think it was. He and Hillary Clinton are both set to hold their election night events here in Midtown Manhattan. And for those of you watching around the world, the show ends tonight, but there'll be a new one tomorrow if you're enjoying things tonight from Paris or London. It's fun to watch, right? We have Team Fox coverage. Jennifer Griffin following the Clinton campaign at the Javits Center here in New York City on Manhattan's West Side. First, to campaign Carl Cameron live at the Hilton Hotel just up the street from our Fox studios. How do Trump staffers feel about things today, Carl?
Oh, I just got off the phone with one who said that they were cautiously, nervously optimistic. And they do have some things to be optimistic about. One of the areas that we've been talking about literally for like 2 years is the central interstate across Florida, I-4, from Tampa to Daytona Beach. And there they say, where there's a huge population of Republican voters that are key to winning Florida, they're looking at some pretty good turnout models reported out of the various different counties along I-4. That's a really good sign for Trump. He recognizes that a win hinges on winning Florida, defending North Carolina, and picking up a couple of other blue states to round out sweeping all of the Romney states that turned red in 2012. And if he does that, then he wins. There has been an awful lot of shenanigans reported around the country that has already prompted him to file a lawsuit in Las Vegas for the polls being kept open late Friday night after the time the polls were closed. They were extended because there was a long line. The Trump campaign is arguing that some people were added to that line, and that's inappropriate, and has demanded that the records all be saved in case there's future litigation. A judge has apparently said that that's redundant. The city already does that. The county already retains all those records anyway. So if there is a recount or there are irregularities found that warrant it, they can be referred to. A couple of staffers got fired at the Broward County polling place today in Florida because apparently they were allowing or in a bit of a different, having a difference with some elderly people who came in with their health aides and had their health aides go to the booth with them. The argument was that some of these poll watchers were objecting and that the health aides were actually telling them how to vote. Well, the pollsters, the poll workers were removed. So there's stuff out there that's going to give the Trump campaign pause. They're certainly watching it. What they're watching more eagerly are those counties and those areas, exurbs mostly in rural areas, where blue-collar voters, they hope, will turn out big for a victory tonight.
It's interesting that there's so much focus on those two, Fort Lauderdale and Nevada. Harry Reid's machine, very helpful out there, getting out the Hispanic vote. And down in Broward County, for people that